Hello, 2013-14 AP for all AP students. From here on out, I'll often refer to you as APES because we're getting ready to take that AP exam come the end of the year. I'm going to send out a series, hopefully, of some short web tutorials, give you a little bit of introduction to the course. I am Mr. Viles, and I am the instructor for AP World this year and AP for All. First thing I want to do is show you a little bit about the Moodle. The very first step is I want you to see here the contact information. That's my name, there's my email, and here is my phone number. Now, that phone number goes to a cell phone that I rarely have on, but that phone number also goes directly to my email account. So if you call that number and leave a message, that voice message goes directly to my email, and I can get it there, which will be the fastest way. If you text that phone number, it will go directly to my email, and I'll be able to answer you very quickly that way. So if you're a phone person, by all means, use that phone number. If you have access to email, and that's just as good, that's also a good way to get a hold of me. The next thing I want to show right at the beginning here is the calendar over here on the right. Times, pretty much the only thing I put in the calendar are due dates. And you'll notice they are shaded as these are down at the bottom. And that is telling you that the DBQ, our first essay of the year, will be due Sunday the 29th. And that the next day, the entire workbook is done. Now the way I pace the course is that essentially every unit has one workbook. That workbook could have anywhere from 1 to 6 assignments in it. And it's up to you really to pace yourself. This is an online class, and there's some flexibility that comes with that. We're not meeting every single day. I'm not seeing you every day. And so there's some flexibility on your part as to manage your work. I know that in online class, oftentimes the weekends are a really valuable time to put work together and get those things done. And I try to end my units on Sunday night at midnight, and things being due the next day, Monday morning. So pace yourself accordingly, and make sure that your entire workbook or the entire essays are complete by the due dates. And those due dates will always be posted here. You'll see you'll have a listing of upcoming events, and it's telling you the first event you've got looking at you is the DBQ. Now if we scroll down, I'm going to scroll past the introductory material, and I want to look at this first unit. It's highlighted in blue. This shows you that this is the current unit we're working on. And it's got a title, What is a Civilization? And I want you to pay extra attention right here to the Stearns note. Stearns, Peter Stearns is the lead editor on your textbook, and hopefully you all have it. And I know not everyone does yet, and that's entirely fine. You will have it soon. Our first unit, you will read chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7. I will somewhat frequently skip around, so be aware of that and pay close attention to the actual chapters I've asked. Now, again, this comes down to your own pacing. If you look up the calendar, you've got basically the month of September to do this first unit, and you have 5 chapters in that book to read. So you want to pace yourself, be an active reader. You do want to take notes on the reading. You cannot, I repeat, cannot write in the books. The textbooks, the Stearns books, will be returned to your mentors at the end of the year. So you're going to want to keep a notebook and be an active reader and note things down. I do not collect the notes, and I'm really leaving it up to you. Now, I will tell you, of course, in this course, AP courses are somewhat different. They're really not about the grade, at least in my opinion. You and I are in this together, and I'm trying to coach you to the best possible performance on the AP exam in May. And so, as you know, if you've had experience with other AP courses, cutting corners on classwork, you know, you're really not getting ahead. It's the equivalent of like skipping out of laps at a practice, but come game time, you will pay for that. And certainly the AP exam, the AP World exam, is a tough one. And if we go through and follow the steps, you will be well prepared and you will do a great job. But reading the Stearns and taking notes on Stearns is critical to that. So please keep up with the reading, and it's really in your own interest. And do a great job being an active reader, taking the notes that work best for you. And I can certainly have a conversation with you about better note-taking techniques, and I like that conversation. So email me if that's a question you have. Now, in every unit, there's also these components, and these will usually repeat. Some of them are not present in every unit, but these are the most common components of a unit in AP World for me. This first one is called a workbook. And you'll see, we'll start it off. I'll click on this. The workbook contains really the homework style activities for the unit. Now, they are of different sizes, different units will have a different number of assignments in each one. This one, it is a full month. There are a few more assignments than usual. The table of contents over here, each one of these is a page of the workbook, and it has a different activity on it. Now, in this first unit, not every activity has a deliverable. And what I mean by that is not every activity has an actual written assignment that goes with it. But usually the workbooks throughout the year, you will see every page will have something, some activity you are to do, usually in Google Docs, and we'll talk about that in another tutorial. But usually there's something for you to do and hand in to me. In this case, you'll see, if it's a video, I usually put the video right in the workbook. There will be instructions, like right here. There could be readings, as here. I've got a little excerpt discussing anthropology versus archaeology. And then down here, I use Google Docs and these assignments. And I will put in, my handouts are usually in Google Docs. And these are the links to open these handouts in Google Docs. And again, in another tutorial, I'm going to put together how to work with Google Docs. But to keep this one as short as possible, I'm not going to click on that just now. If we go back to the site, the main site, you have your workbook with your assignments inside. The indented pieces, these are usually referred to due dates. The Unit 1 workbook, what this is telling you is this is the due date that you have for it. And there is a check mark here. And these are for you. And you can kind of help organize yourself. And maybe you've got the workbook done, but you haven't done the forum post, or you haven't done the DBQ yet. You could click right here, and it would mark that as complete. The forums are online discussion boards. Every workbook has at least one forum assignment. And so you're going to want to make sure that you get in there and do that. The forum directions will usually refer to something in the workbook, like we'll have you read something about migrations and then discuss one of the major ideas. And you'll see those assignments clearly. If you click on the forum, it will take you in. And depending on the forum, you might have one or two or more discussions. In this case, there are two. If we click on the migrations discussion, it will take us in, and you'll say, using the text from Unit 1 workbook in your notes from Stearns, please post what you observe to be the commonalities among all the migrations and what are some significant differences. It's a compare-contrast. Be sure to cite the sources for your observations and support. So don't just say things were different. You know, use citations from the text, use quotes from the text, support your argument, use quotes from Stearns. The way you would do this is to click reply right here, and it would let you in, and it would be like other discussion forums that you may be familiar with. Now, coming back again to the main unit page, the last thing I want to discuss is right here, the Unit 1 YouTube playlist. Every unit in the course has a video playlist attached to it. There are always videos from a man named John Green. And he does a series called Crash Course Videos. And what I have done is organize those videos to align with our units. And what that will do is when you've read Stearns and you have a pretty good idea about it, but you'd like to see that visualized in a different way, watching those YouTube playlists can, well, it can help you understand it a little bit better and reinforce it a little bit more. John Green, the man who did the video series, he's funny, he moves fast, but his history is very accurate, and it's a really good tool for us. And using this in the past with past classes, students who have clicked these links and watched the videos have come back to say how useful they were, and they weren't bad at all. They're kind of funny. And you'll see his style when you click on them. So this is kind of what a unit looks like in AP4ALL. And you'll see if we scroll down, and I know right now The next units are showing not available right now. I will flick and turn those on as we get to them. I try to keep it so we have just a couple of units ahead. If people are moving very fast, by all means, you can do that. But I want to try to ensure that we're moving somewhat as a group. You'll see continuing elements. There's the workbook. There's the due date for the workbook. There's the DBQ, which is an essay assignment. And there's the playlist. The playlist, of course, is not required. It's just recommended. That is kind of how to use the Moodle. These are the pieces. The way the course is built, you will have workbook assignments. They count towards your grade. You will have essays, not with every unit, but with most units, there will be an essay component, and that counts heavily towards your grade as well. And I'll be emailing out information soon about more of a detailed breakdown on grades and that sort of thing. But I would encourage you as much as possible, don't focus on the grade in an AP course. You're focusing on the preparation. Grades hopefully reflect, your effort and your understanding, and I think they will. But our ultimate focus is that AP exam in May, when we really want to set ourselves up to do as well as possible. By all means, email me with any questions, and I look forward to sending out a couple of more tutorials here, talking about Google, talking about some other things we use with the class. Thank you.